All right, so we're recording. So I'm going to review last week's class content, and then I'm going to build on that. So it's going to be like part one and part two. And last week, we talked about how we have seeds of desire uh, within our soul, within each one of our hearts. And those seeds of desire, things that expressions in life that really resonate with each one of us, like a certain expression, outpouring of of a work or um, a hobby, uh, being a mother, like all of these, being an entrepreneur, um, a creator of something, all of these desires are built into us. And they may seem like a lot of people have the same seeds in their heart, but it's going to express differently with each personality. So we're divine, and the divine is out showing through us through our personality. And we because of our uniqueness, put our own color on um, what it is that we're expressing. And every seed of desire within our heart is built in there to help us actualize, to help us expand into our divine nature. So there's not seeds of desire in there that are put in there to frustrate us and to cause us to feel less than. All of them are made to be born and are made to express through our evolution into becoming more of our divine expression and becoming more of our unique, beautiful light shining on the face of the earth. So as we move through life, you might say, I don't know what's planted in my garden. Certain things will resonate with you. You'll be super interested in something. You'll want to be super interested in something. Like we all have them. We're not taught to really get in there, and not all the seeds come up at the same time either. So all of them are there to become fulfilled and to become the fullest expression of that desire in our life. So so we want to tend our garden well, right? We want to water it with time spent in our meditative practice and in the presence of creation and in the presence of divine love. And in this presence, we are watering and tending our garden, but we're learning and growing what would be good to let go of, move out of the way, so that we can um, rise into the fulfillment or the external expression of the internal desire. So we spend time with each of these, and we talked about, I used the relationship as an example last time. If we have a desire in our heart to have a relationship, or say to have a job, different job or different job expression, to ask the questions in our meditative quiet time. What is it that I want? What do I hope to get from the fulfillment of this seed of desire? What do I hope to give? What will change in my life? What do I see will change in my life with the process of fulfillment of this desire? What's my responsibility? We don't choose, like like my sister said, oh, I'm going to go out and make it all happen. But what's my responsibility? Going and spending time birthing the promise of this desire within our heart. It will come to the outside. That's not our thing. So, and also, am I committed to doing what it takes? Am I committed to doing my part? And in the relationship example, it was, I want a relationship. Do I want a relationship to give and to walk side by side and to encourage somebody else and be encouraged? Or do I want a relationship to be fulfilled and to have somebody pander to my insecurities or something? So am I committed to my portion? So we really learn a lot about where we've come, and beliefs that we've gained, and knowledge that we've gathered, and personal ways of being that we've picked up throughout our life when we ask these questions and sit and work through the answers, and work through what it is that we're wanting to birth out. So that was last week. And this week, what goes hand in hand with getting to know the desires of our heart, and digging in and following those desires, what goes hand in hand with that is trust. So we have to have a trust in the relationship. So we've entered into exploring and looking into the mirror of life and seeing the eyes of God in our eyes, the eyes of the divine, the eyes of the universe. We're not in the world's in us, right? We're not in the universe is inside of us. We are little gods, right? We're the little I am inside the big I am. So we've gotten in this process used to accepting that truth and spending time in the truth. So what the ideal response of us in this process is to gain trust in the fact that we are divine and we're in the divine. It's like if you read Bible at all, I am in my Father's in me, my Father and I are one. We're all the same. We're all the same. We are in our Father's in us, we're one. So we're all connected. Like we used before, the ocean, we're drops out of the ocean. We contain the attributes of the ocean on a smaller scale, right? So as we begin to develop our relationship of trust, we start letting go of the need to perform. So the relationship and our connection to and back and forth conversation with the divine is not works oriented, right? We're not doing time in our meditation. It is a completely different experience when we are communing, going into commune and carrying the communion out of our quiet time, and carrying it into our life by how we're being. We're not talking about it and telling people how we're being it, right? So the good works that are here for us are going to flow organically and naturally as we express and give way more and more to our divine nature. So we've moved. So when we come into a place of trust, we've moved past the questions of, is this going to be wrong? What if I make a mistake? What if I take a wrong turn? What if is it black or white? All of these self-imposed parameters, because our divine essence and divine life and our ability to create from within our heart is unlimited. And it feels uncomfortable, so we squish all these limits on it. So we can try to stay within the limits of our thoughts and our mind. And when we get past that and we begin to trust in the experience that we've had in our meditation, trust in the move of love that we've experienced in our life. Then we begin to have this back and forth. We begin to go in because we're in love, and being in the presence is compelling, and it's pulls at us to come in. It's love and it's exciting, and it's like going into a best friend, right? It's going and spending time with someone you want to be with just because of who and what they are. So we fleshed out the questions that we've come through life and gathered up along the way. The divine love is unconditional for us, and it's neutral. You know, I'm have a desire and I bring it in, and it's like I have a couple options that have popped up. So and then I'm like, one of these is going to be better than the other. One of these is going to be more in line with my highest and best growth and expansion, and one is going to not. And so help me discern. So now we're still having a relationship. We're not grabbing and going with the first choice, or we're checking in with our intuition. We are connected through our inner soul, our inner being, to the voice and love of the universe. So we are knowing, right? So we're moving into a trust relationship, and trust is knowing. So what is knowing? Knowing's being. It's knowing is being completely convinced that what you are pursuing, what you're desiring, is available to you and is here for you. And knowing is being the thing desired. It's being the end result, right? So we're convinced we're convinced spiritually. We're convinced in the inner being, not in the mind. There's an enormous difference between knowing and thinking. We can think, yes, I desire this. I can make a picture, and I can see myself in this picture, and I'm standing there with whatever it is, fulfillment. That's not knowing. Knowing is, I am in this picture and I am connected with Audrey in the end result. So we're going, our clear intention, which we've sleuthed out on step 1, our clear intention or desire in the heart, in our heart, signals the brain, because the heart and the brain are the same energy. They're connected, right? They work together. So the clear intention or desire in the heart signals the brain with a picture of the concept or the outcome, which creates, the brain then creates the end result emotion within us. And now we are a complete circle, a beacon that is beep, 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 a magnet drawing to us that desire. So the heart and the brain are synchronized to the heart of the creative source or the divine. And then the divine moves in response to this living desire, right? But we've been taught and trained that we have to run out and solve our problem, do, and somewhere along the line, divine love will push us in one direction or another, and or we'll fix it after the end. But we can have so much better a relationship than that. Like we do, our work is step 1, working over to step 2, because knowing is standing face to face in front of divine love, and it's saying, what do you want? And I'm saying, I know what I want. I know this desired outcome. And this is all I can see, but I know that you have higher and better. I want to evolve, because really the ultimate goal is that we evolve devolve from being human, evolve into our highest and best expression of divine love and life that is in us through our beautiful human form and personality. The divine is touching the earth through us. So when we are faced with choices, or we are creating our future, we have the clear intention, our desire is the highest and best for us. We know that maybe we can only see what we know, right? So we're open to see and know more, right? And then when opportunities line up with that, we know that we know that we know, and there is no doubt. And how it comes into our life is going to be magical, and is going to be in a way of expression that's going to let us know that we are in the flow, and it's being brought to us by divine love, right? It's a different experience. We can only live this way if we have developed trust and moved the boulders out of the way that prevent trust, right? So trust is really in any relationship. If you don't have trust, you do not have anything. The relationship is not going to make it unless you can get some trust going on. We have to trust. We have to trust ourselves. If we can't trust ourselves, there's no way you're going to connect with a trust that's higher than you. We can only achieve and give what we have risen to ourselves, right? When we reach out, I know there's more, I know there's something more out there, boom, we're infused and connected with divine love. It is up to us to evolve and expand so that we are more love, less our past, less our limited thinking, and more open, more joy. Like we're creative beings that have been given the gift to create a beautiful life for yourself, whatever else it is that we want to create, band together and create peace and harmony, right? Have visions, have inventions, be open to receiving divine download into our creative thinking process to create above and beyond what we could ever ask or think. And how things come to us, it's not up to us, because guess what? You know, if you're like, I want to have this impact on the earth, but it requires this education and I don't have any of those things, so I'm not going to have so we immediately eliminate the opportunity for ourselves. But if we're like, I'd really like to make an impact in health and healing, and in people's actualization into their spiritual life, and that's my desire and my passion, it's not up to me to decide how it's not going to work, and it's not up to me to try to go out and solve it. Mine is to have the vision and have the pure desire, connect into creation with it, and it will come in ways I know not of, right? Because the ways of divine are past finding out. But in our mind, we're like, well, if I can't figure it out, then God sure can't. If I can't figure it out, then creation sure can't bring me something beyond what I can think. And this is where we sit in our lives not moving forward. So we have to get past, get in, what do I want? What do I need? What are my desires? Stay with that until we have ironed it out. Begin to become that already. You know, if somebody wants a love, then become the best lover that you can possibly be, right? A lover as far as like expression of love, and because you can't receive what you're not able to give, right? If you want to be a leader, start becoming the best leader that you can for yourself within your own life, right? Begin to bring knowledge in, study leadership, right? Begin to bring those things into your life so that then out of that gathering, you will begin to filter out and something will come. Oh, I could do this. This is really where I was headed with that desire. And then we recognize it as it comes into our life. So, and I know that there's, I was thinking of this lesson and I'm like, people are going to be, but you have to do something. You can't just sit there and meditate. I'm not suggesting. Nothing in any of this have I suggested that, but oftentimes there's no room in all of our busyness. We're being busy and rushing around because we're scared of something. We're scared of an outcome we don't want. We're scared if we don't do enough or more than enough, we won't earn it. It'll miss us somehow. That's not trust. That's not trust. If there's any anxiety like roaming around, that's not trust. Right? I mean, we can be like, trust is new for me, and so I'm going to develop it as I go, but I'm going to take steps in the direction that I'm desiring to trust 100%, and open to eliminating the beliefs that stand in the way of me trusting, because honestly, it's just thought processes or conceptions of ourself, or the willingness or lovingness of divine to move on our behalf, right? So we do what we know to do, believing that it's not our actions that are bringing it into our life, it's our connection. This is the important thing to gather from this. It's not our actions, it's the connection to the physical, emotional passion of that desire. We become one with the desire and the intention. And when we're one with the desire and intention, it must find us. It must find us. So in our process of evolving, a couple of people shared, tonight that I'm gonna challenge myself, and I'm gonna do what was impressed upon me, because I can talk for a half an hour, and every person will be impressed differently with something. So, or not at all. But the divine speaks. So people stepped out and said, I'm gonna do that. And fruit was born. Fruit was born. And it feels so good when you take the steps with an open heart and you're met with a response. That sensation, that impression on our life is never lost. And we have now more knowing and more trust and more confidence and more excitement about entering into every aspect of our life into the secret chamber of creation, right? So we evolve more, we elevate more, we create more, and it's and then the joy that we have is our soul's response to itself because we're divine responding to the touch of divine. And it's divine, it's blissful, it's beautiful. We can live in this beautiful, creative expression without fear or worry, or we're not separate from our pursuits. We are our pursuits. We're lining up with the, it's like, it's like learning a foreign language. You go somewhere and you can't speak the language, and you start to learn the language, and the more words you get, and the more ways that you find to make a connection so that the conversation is longer than 2 or 3 words, right? Where's the bathroom? Dos cervezas or something. We connect deeply, and then we begin to have, boom, we have enough dialogue, enough emotion, enough expression to begin to open and have longer, deeper conversations that don't even include words. Oftentimes it's an exchange of emotion and energy, with which is divine love, right? We limit the divine to our words, but the expressions are so much deeper. So um, that's my talk for this week. And if you want to comment, I'd love to hear a comment. If not, I'm totally good with that too. And got a thumbs up. And next week, maybe we'll have reached out a little farther, taken a little step closer, right? And it'll be so exciting to see and hear what's happening in each other's lives. So
So 2 years ago, when I started this journey with you, there was a picture of a heart that was encrusted with rock. And it was starting to crumble. The rock was crumbling, and all of a sudden the heart was showing. That's how I feel over the last 2 years. This is it's like a birthing process for me. And I think it's slow, but every time that we meet, I feel like more of the scale comes off of the picture that I have of this heart that's just encrusted. And I think that just through things that happened in life and stuff like that, you can become so hard and so rigid that you don't even know it. And then this kind of stuff opens you up to the ability to see more and to know more. And I just feel like every time we meet, the scales drop a little bit further and there's more heart emerging. And I know I'm a work in progress, and it's going to take a while before all of the scales are gone, because my mind works and it doesn't allow me sometimes to express myself, and like my mind will take over, like Yelena was saying, that you think about it as opposed to using the tools. So I have a lot to learn, and I'm still learning, but every time we meet, there's more scales coming off.
Thank you for sharing that. It was really a beautiful picture. And we are all a work in progress from the moment we hit this planet until we, even once we move on, we're a work in progress. We're becoming at the pace that's right for each one of us. And I mean, there's not a week that doesn't go by in my life where I'm like, holy Christmas, I'm a born again. Like, with, as far as I get a revelation, it's like I'm completely reborn with that revelation, right? In my thoughts and my energy. And then I go along and it happens again. And I'm like, oh, I'm completely reborn. Like, and then I've learned that it's just like a fireworks display. Somebody's beeping.
You need to turn it. Yeah, mute me, please.
That was okay. I muted you. So I think that I know that as we pursue the growth, and as we pursue opening, and as we pursue a higher and better us, and we're all shedding scales continuously. It's just, it's part of the process. We never arrive at a place where there aren't any. So so we're all moving in the river together, uh, doing our growing. So all of us have scars, all of us have history. You can't come to this planet and not have some history at some point or other. But the beauty of it is, this is the magical beauty. We've been given the gift to recreate ourselves, to rebirth ourselves in the image of our divine light, and in the image of our true uh, self, our true desires in our heart. We get to participate and activate the rebirthing of our life into its divine reflection onto the earth. So that's such a gift we've been given. So it's a beautiful life that we have here. And so anyway, thank you so much for sharing. So we will do a meditation just because. And so so I won't spring a creation meditation on everyone without planning. So next week, come with a clear intention of something really tiny. Doesn't have to be huge. It can also be huge, but a clear intention of something, as something that you want in your life, someplace you want to go, something you want, some change in your life. And really between today and next week, I want you to, and I will text this so we have a point of reference, but spend time in the question stage, and I'll text the questions and spend time in really working it out, if it takes that, if it's not like really simple. And then next week we will meditate together, each one of us in our own intention. So tonight we will have a meditation, and we will go and be in love and really steep ourselves in love, because every time we go in, every time we enter in, every time we come before and into the energy of divine love, we are changed forever for our highest and best every time. And because we don't have a clear thought about it, or we're not having a goal, we think it's not happening. It's happening. It cannot help but happen. We're standing close to divine, and that energy is touching our divine, and we're tuning up. So we are coming away higher and better, more brilliant, more loving. It just naturally, organically happens through exposure and awareness. So I'm going to end the recording, and then we're going to meditate.